Me, you're not on your. You're on the right account. I know that I don't want to be a dick, but
You're being
I'm
a dick.
just.
Of course I'm on the right account. Everything is green, Helen. Everything is green.
Well, it says we're live on the
Well,
web
I don't know
on
why they
YouTube.
can't see us. Because...
Oh no! Apparently,
That,
we are now live.
that
People can see us.
sounds like a them problem.
They can see us. Stop arguing. No. Paul's having a tantrum. It's funny. Hello, everyone. Stop bickering. You're live. Lol. I'm not worried about being. Helen started what? Paul wants the credit. Helen started it, but Paul wants the credit. We are live. Hello, hello.
Good. See, I told you. Everything was green.
Goodness gracious. Are you all right there, babe?
No. I'm supposed to be able to just press a button and then shit's supposed to happen.
Yes. You know? That's hilarious. Sounds like an us problem. Gaslighting enters the chat. All hail our venerated leaders. Never stop bickering. It's my favourite part. I can see you now. Good, good, good.
I mean, you know, the bickering is a thing, isn't it?
Oh, I love bickering with you. It's the funniest thing in the world.
Well,
because there's no seriousness to it. Why have you got a fancier border than? Oh no, you haven't. It's all right.
Yeah, no, it's exactly the same. Helen.
I know. It's just that where it joins next to mine, it's grey and mine is black. And I was like, why is yours highlighted against mine? Like, why do you stand out more than me? But you don't.
Because I'm supposed to stand out more than you.
Yeah.
So,
I'm better. I'm more special.
Anyway,
okay.
So we're going to talk about Luigi this evening.
Luigi.
How many of you actually watched the video so far?
And if you didn't, get out. You're banned. Not really. You're only allowed if you've watched it, and there is going to be a test. Don't make any mistakes. There's a 99% pass rate, and the only thing you're allowed to get wrong is the spelling of your name, your own name, not mine or Paul's. Everyone, spell my surname now. Don't put it on the screen.
Have you finished?
Yeah, the power's gone to my head.
Being a
Says
thundering
exhaustion.
bitch. Being a thundering, but excuse me, I'm not the only texopath.
That it. Oh dear. Oh dear.
What do you mean? What video? Yesterday's video. Yesterday's episode. Have you actually?
Is that 3 L's, Amy? Not Paul. I can't read that. I'm too far away.
There are 3 L's.
Oh. There's 3 L's in villas there. I think Erin's got it right. Well done, Erin. Say villas, says Brain. Well done. Oh, people have watched it. Orly has watched it. Rachel has watched it. Leonie has watched it. Well done. Lord Junkie 33, you're normally top of the class.
Yeah,
why are
Lord
you down
Junkie
at the bottom?
is normally top of the class. But actually, Lord Junkie, I think, has watched it because they've left comments.
Oh, well, in which case, they must have done.
Yeah. No, shit. They haven't watched it yet.
Get out. Immediately. You're demoted.
They've been busy leaving messages on other stuff. Yesterday's video and a short. They've been busy leaving messages on other stuff.
Okay, fair enough then.
So, did you know that the DOJ has requested the death penalty?
What? No, I did not.
Yeah. Now, obviously, New York doesn't have the death penalty, so they're requesting the federal death penalty.
What does that mean?
Well, apparently they have here. We'll watch this short video.
Oh, thank you.
Apparently, I don't know this one's name, but I mean, I think they call her Fascist Barbie or something.
Fascist Barbie. Is that like misogyny? Okay, here we go.
The Justice Department has just said Attorney General Pam Bondi has directed prosecutors to seek the death penalty against Luigi Mangioni. He's the man charged with killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on a New York City street back in December. With us now, MSNBC legal analyst Danny Savalas. Danny, good morning. So what is exactly the Justice Department saying, and what are they basing it on?
Well, one of the crimes Mangione is charged with is murder with a firearm, which is a capital offense under federal law. So the death penalty is a possibility. But in federal death penalty cases, it is a two-stage process. The jury not only decides guilt, but then they are the ones who ultimately decide whether the defendant lives or is put to death. It is not the judge that hands out the sentence. That's why death penalty juries have to be qualified, and it's a much more onerous process to seat a capital jury, because you have to ask them questions, difficult questions like, if the death penalty is on the table, can you actually sentence someone to death? So this is a very big decision by the federal government, maybe not a surprising one, but given how rarely over the years the federal government has sought the death penalty, it is certainly a significant decision by Pam Bondi.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, Danny. I mean, what cases have there been where the federal government has been requesting the death penalty? And I'm thinking, more than one person having been killed. It is unusual.
I believe that the most recent death penalty execution in the federal system was carried out in 2021, and that was related to a crime that was committed, just to give you some context, in 1996. So that's how long death penalty cases can take. And at the federal level, it's interesting because, states like New York may not have the death penalty, but technically every state has, and I'm using air quotes, the death penalty, because they could be charged with a federal crime in that state and put to death, even if the state itself does not have the death penalty, as is the case with New York.
So I mean, it's a bit odd that they're requesting that.
I mean,
L. Anna says that Mrs. Bondi admitted that this crime is no ordinary crime but an act of political violence. Death penalty is political retaliation. I mean, I don't understand how it could be an act of political violence.
it's because he's who he killed.
But he didn't kill a politician.
No, but he killed somebody who is.
So here's the thing: apparently they're charging him with terrorism in order to bring the crime up to first-degree murder. They're also charging him with stalking. So
beef it up.
What?
To beef up the.
Yes, but they made a mistake because the defense lawyer said, "Well, which is it, stalking or terrorism?" Because terrorism is supposed to terrorize a community, right?
Oh.
In order to make change. Stalking means that you is essentially focused on one individual, stalking one individual. So what is it? But also the whole idea of the terrorism and the manifesto and stuff like that, they want to get rid of them using this word manifesto. They say my volume was low.
It's because he's not as important as me.
It's fine. I can change your volume, Helen, and I can change my volume. I can make you sound... Actually, I can mute you.
Standard.
Shall we just do that? Silence.
Yeah, fine.
But,
Don't silence me!
So anyway, I was saying, before I was brutally and rudely interrupted, that...
You interrupted your fucking self, I want to point out.
Have you finished?
No. Would you like me to tell you some things? Ooh, carry on.
Helen's always quite louder. Yeah, in real life too. And so anyway, they're saying, well, which is it? Is it stalking or is it terrorism? But now there's this whole thing over the idea of a manifesto that the defense are saying, well, a manifesto has to be released in order for it to be terrorism. He didn't release his manifesto. The police leaked his manifesto.
Oh my goodness.
And they're now saying, well, is it a manifesto or is it a journal? So basically, you know, it was stuff that he was writing himself. So is it a journal to himself?
Just his own notes, yeah.
Is it a manifesto, you know? And I think that it's just kind of ludicrous that you have somebody, for example, who's been charged with murdering 8 people in New York and didn't get the death penalty. And now you have somebody who murdered 1 and all hell is breaking loose simply because, obviously, some lives are more important than others.
Do you know, while you were playing the video, I looked up the 47,000 deaths by shooting in the States in 2023. How many death sentences do you think were imposed?
Where, in New York?
No, in the
Or
whole of
the whole of the States?
The States.
I don't know, because it changes from state to state, doesn't it? Because not all states have the death penalty. How many? Remember,
21.
he's being tried in New York. So 21 in the entire state, probably all of them in Texas too, or somewhere like that.
21 death sentences were imposed in 2023. What I can't, and I don't understand in the language whether that means that they were carried out or whether it was given, but
no.
In 2023, 24 death row inmates were executed in the States. So the sentences are 21, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because they would call them executions if they were carrying them
Right.
out, wouldn't they? So, and a death
Yes.
sentence is what they hand down.
So of 47,000 shootings, death by shooting.
47,000.
I mean, it's an unbelievable statistic.
Fucking hell.
To the point that I'm now like, did I actually read it right? I'll find it in a second. But of 47,000, 21 people were given a death sentence.
I think as well, when they hand out the death sentence, there's sometimes decades between
Yes.
the sentence and then the carrying out. And invariably, as far as I know, they commuted, depending on where they are, you know, unless, of course, they're a nutcase gung-ho, we kill everyone state. So Law Junkie says that death sentences are imposed but rarely carried out. Yeah, I heard that too. El Anna says it's a strange letter of appreciation to the feds confessing the crime, how and why. It's actually a cute letter.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but again, writing yourself a letter in a journal, which now apparently there's the suggestion that what was seized illegally, and that the defenses are trying to suppress it.
Interesting. Without warrants and the appropriate warrants, then.
Well, apparently he wasn't actually he wasn't detained or under arrest when they took the stuff. So they didn't tell him you've been detained. But they did illegally detain him by blocking his way out, by not allowing him to leave, without actually officially detaining him.
Like no Miranda rights or anything?
No Miranda rights. So apparently, if I'm getting this right, it was essentially an illegal detention up until they brought him to, up until they basically read him his rights or something like that, you know?
Goodness me.
So multiple deleters can have life sentences, but killing one gets the death sentence. Well, yeah, because you're killing the wrong kind of person, aren't you? You're killing somebody wealthy.
And high profile.
And high profile. And
well connected.
Somebody else said up there that, oh, here we go. They're making an example of him because he targeted a wealthy and powerful man. If the same thing to happen to a regular guy, it wouldn't even be in the news. You know, that's true, but that's not the comment I'm looking for. somebody said, I can't remember who it was, that we can't have the idea that you can go around killing CEOs in order to get what you want. And
That's not
my
what he
whole
was
thing is,
doing.
well, no, but I mean, isn't that what the States was founded on?
What, killing people so you can get what you want?
Killing people so you can, the rising up of the populace and overthrowing kings and stuff like this.
I mean,
that's essentially
yes.
what it was all about, wasn't it?
Yes,
It was about
I
this
suppose.
idea that they don't want to be taxed from the UK, that they didn't want to send tax to a foreign monarch.
Yes.
Health insurance is pretty the same thing,
Yes.
Why?
It's a tax on being alive, isn't it?
But it's not even a tax on being alive. It's a privilege that can't be afforded by everybody, which I find absolutely bizarre.
That blows my mind. I mean, I had a message from somebody on my Facebook page, so in relation to something else, but they told me that in the States yesterday, 14 people died because they were diabetic and they couldn't get insulin.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
Because they couldn't afford it.
But also, you've got this situation where you're paying so much money for private health insurance. I mean, when I lived in New York, my private health insurance was something stupid, like $500 and something a month. And here it's £60 a month.
Yes, yeah, it's like so low.
And also
sorry, that was comparatively.
I've watched $500 a month, Helen, is $6,000 a year.
No, sorry, I meant £60. Not everyone's going to be able to afford £60 a month, are they? So I was saying comparatively to the States, it's
right. Well,
cheaper.
It's £700 a year compared to $6,000 a year. But I've been watching videos of doctors talking about dealing with health insurance and stuff like that. And the grand majority of doctors and surgeons and the medical profession in general absolutely despise the health insurance companies, because you've got some random person sitting in a call center telling a doctor, no, we don't think your diagnosis is relevant, so we're going to say we're not approving that. And United Healthcare, which is what Brian Thompson was the CEO of, had the highest refusal rate of all healthcare companies.
Jesus. And the thing is as well, so my friend, that when she lived in Seattle, the company she worked for paid for her, like it's a benefit of the job. So you get into this system, right? But you get into this system where, because it's a benefit of the job, the insurance companies can charge more for it, and then you don't have a job, and so you have to pay for it yourself, and then you're fucked basically, because you have to pay for
but it's not just that. If you leave that job, you lose that health insurance.
Yes, I know. That's what but regardless, the point being that because of the fact that employers are paying for it, therefore they can inflate the price of it, right?
Employers are not paying for it. Where'd you get that idea?
Well, it's part of their perks.
No, you get a reduced rate. Employers will subsidize it. You don't get it free.
Oh, I thought they did.
It's not like here where a benefit or a perk will be, we will include health insurance. Some companies might, but over there it's like you get to join the company health insurance plan, and instead of paying,
I've got you. And then you leave the company and
$600 a month, you pay $150 a month.
What do they do about pre-existing conditions then?
Then you're fucked, you die.
So if I went and worked in the States, they're not going to cover any of my issues?
No.
Do you know, when I was in Seattle, my little one was about 3 at the time, and 3.5 maybe, and there was a day we were at the Starbucks on whatever, I think it's Capitol Hill or something, and this huge massive building, I don't know if you've ever seen it, and she refused to get into her buggy. And so I was bent over trying to put her in, and she's doing that child thing where they arch like this and go, no. And then I was getting more and more stressed because everyone's watching and judging, because of course they're all perfect parents. And she's just like, nah. And as I was trying to put her in, my back popped. I felt it go, and the disc essentially slipped further out. It's already out, but it went further out, and it was, when I say excruciating, I don't even know how I didn't scream, as it was. I really, if I'd have been here, I'd have probably gone to hospital, just because the pain was so bad, and there's a condition, I'm sure you have heard of it, where you can lose it can damage the nerves so badly you lose all sensation waist down.
What do you mean you probably have gone to hospital? Without a doubt, you'd have gone to hospital.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like with back stuff, I just tolerate it. Anyway, but I didn't go because I didn't know where I stood in terms of insurance, because over here I was booked in for a scan. So if I had gone for my back and they were like, it's a pre-existing condition, my travel insurance, then I wouldn't have been covered. Like, it would have just been a financial disaster. And
No, I don't know about your travel insurance. I mean, as long as you put it in, your travel insurance will cover. Maybe you didn't put back pain in.
Maybe I didn't.
But,
I usually do because of the fear.
But I mean, the healthcare system is wild, and then you have these co-pays that you have to pay as well. So
yes.
You've got insurance, and then you go to the doctor, and you're asked to pay a co-pay. Now, back when I lived there, it was $60 or $80 for the copay. And I remember thinking, fuck, just to go and see a doctor for 10 minutes. But anyway, and then they'd give you a prescription. You'd go to the chemist, you'd hand it over, and they'd ask you, and this used to blow my mind, do you want generic or name brand? And I'm like, yeah, so the generic drug of the name branded drug is obviously cheaper.
Yeah.
So let's say, for
example,
you
just get the generic, like hay fever medicine.
Right, but you
have
get
Claritin or the.
So they will ask you what choice you want because it's cheaper. Your copay is lower if you get the generic as opposed to the name brand. You know, so it's the whole thing was wild. Then deciding so you can only buy insurance at a particular time of the year. Like, you can't just suddenly decide, oh, I'm going to buy health insurance. It's this
Seriously?
it's this whole thing. And it was like I found the whole thing just kind of nuts.
It is madness by the sounds of it. I just want to go back to something you said about terrorism and one person. Do you remember Jo Cox when she was murdered?
The journalist?
Yeah, no, a politician. She was an MP.
Oh, yes.
Yes, she was an MP for Batley and Spen. And she was shot and stabbed multiple times by a man called Thomas Alexander.
Right?
Sorry?
It was a hit on her, wasn't it? A gang member or something, if I remember correctly.
Don't think so. Well, what it was a white supremacy attack.
Oh, right.
She was very into, as far as I remember, very into the
white supremacy in the UK? I didn't think that was a thing.
What? Are you serious?
I know we have the odd nutcase, but I didn't think it was like a whole thing.
He believed, well, I think white supremacy is well and alive in many places, but so he was called Thomas Alexander Mayer, and he believed individuals of liberal and left-wing political viewpoints and the mainstream media were the cause of the world's problems. And she was a defender of the EU and immigration, and he saw her as one of the collaborators and a traitor to white people. So he was convicted of murder, but with, and I think the judge said something about it being white supremacy. But at the time, there was, I remember very clearly in the papers there being a lot of discussion about it being terrorism because it was motivated by race, but it was one-on-one killing.
But terrorism is meant to terrorize a community.
Well, what's interesting is that as a therapist, I have to alert the police if anyone discloses anything around terrorism. And I have to clarify to my clients that that includes, it's not the Daily Mail brown version of a terrorist. It includes things like if you go and if you told me you were going to go and release a load of beagles from the testing facility, that would be considered terrorism. How is that terrorizing anyone?
I mean, I don't think it is, but I mean, there are
It's
some
industrial
laws
terrorism,
that,
isn't it?
well, yeah, but there are some laws that I don't think should be on the books.
Like you can kill a Welshman in Liverpool on a Sunday with a bow and arrow.
And
Do you know
quite
that one?
rightly so.
Yeah.
Vicky says 40 years, 1 million people will have been murdered by guns. That's crazy. Perhaps
is.
we could take stock from Trump in one respect. He's an amazing cult leader. Oh, for sure. He's aspirational where that's concerned. I know people who died, says Denise, because they couldn't afford the insulin. My father suffered a massive heart attack, sepsis, from rationing his insulin. You see, that to me
Jesus,
is
that is-
just heartbreaking. And I'm sorry, but it's disgusting that you have to choose that to ration life-saving medication.
I mean,
It's unacceptable.
you're a first world country and people are dying from basic medical needs, like seriously basic.
What I think is hilarious is when, and again, when I worked over there, because I was on a British contract, I obviously had British, well, rights, shall we say. But my...
What are they? I get tea at 3 o'clock every afternoon and a scone.
Well, no, I mean, 5.5
Cream
weeks
first.
holiday, 5.5 weeks holiday a year, you know.
Wow.
Sick pay doesn't come out of whatever. So the normal stuff that we're used to here. And
9 months maternity leave. When
yeah, this kind of stuff, exactly.
Wow.
So, but my American co-workers were obviously on American contracts, and their benefits, were, oh, you get 10 days holidays a year. But
What?
you can swap your, so if you're sick, you get 5 sick days a year or 3 sick days a year or something. So there are allocated sick days. And if you go over them, it comes out of your holiday and all sorts of shit. Anyway, I remember telling my manager, it's like, okay, well, I'm going back to India for 3 weeks. So here's my holiday form. And they were like, get fucked, are you going to India for 3 weeks? You don't have that much. And they call it PTO. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I haven't even used all my holidays. This 3 weeks, these 15 days, I still have like another 15 days left. You need to chill the fuck out. And they just couldn't believe this, that this was just the most incredible benefit. And I was like, this is not a benefit. This is like minimum law. It's minimum law.
Yeah. This
is a right. But what they call benefits, like we will give you 10 days holiday, it's this whole fucked up idea of let the companies decide how to treat the workers. It's just like this at-will employment. So very similar to what a casual contract would be here, but more draconian. So at-will employment is essentially, I can fire you because I don't like your face.
Oh my God.
It doesn't matter if you've worked here for 10 years and I'm a new manager and I don't like you. Your employment is at will, so you're fired. Pack up your bags and leave.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that they could fire for virtually no reason and it's like instant. They don't. There's no notice periods, even, is there?
No, it depends on the state, and it depends on what's in your contract. If you have negotiated a severance package when you started,
Right.
but no, there's no such thing as you've got 2 months notice or 3 months notice and then you whack them. They literally shut off all access. So you get this.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I mean, you get the.
Here we get gardening leave and stuff like.
Yeah, of course. But you get this message in your. Well, I've seen it now. They put this 10-minute chat with HR, and people know that this particular chat is they're being fired.
Wow.
Like, it's just nuts to me.
That is nuts. I have to say, while we've been chatting, I've been slightly watching the chat, and I started a war with the scone comment, and I knew I would because I said it deliberately, and as in cream first. And there's two things I'm going to say. One is, when you have a piece of toast, do you put jam first or butter? No. You put butter first because dairy.
Same with a crumpet.
First. Same with a crumpet. And my second point is that I'm actually going to there's a 3. I'm actually going to say, Amy, when I saw your comment, cream first on one side, jam first on the other side, my immediate thought went to, that's a people-pleasing scone. And then just further down, she goes, recovering people-pleaser scone. So that made me laugh a lot. But I'm actually going to hand over to Paul why I'm right, because you know why we have afternoon tea. The Duchess
Yeah,
lady.
because I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The lady who had the scones in her bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. The 6th Duchess of Bedford, Anna, basically was starving and needed to eat between lunch at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock and dinner at 8 o'clock. So she decided to secret eat in her bedroom. So she basically told her butler, bring me up some snacks. I'm fucking starving. And he brought them up to her, and it was sandwiches, which were made from leftover cold meats and egg mayonnaise and chicken and stuff like that.
Wonderful.
Some scones and some small French fancy pastries. So basically, she sat in her sitting room, wolfing it down. And then, of course, she would have other Duchess friends over. And she would disappear because she was ravenous. And then she invited them up to her sitting room or her bedroom. And all of the Duchesses would secret eat. And then it became a whole thing that the rest of the aristocracy, who were basically all ravenous because there was no meal between lunch and dinner, were all secret eating in their bedrooms.
And this is amazing.
And then it depends as well on whether you've got Cornish clotted cream or Devon clotted cream and Devonshire clotted cream. And I think it's Cornish clotted cream. The two are in thing, right? Where whether it goes on first or second. So the Devonshire clotted cream goes on first with jam on top, and vice versa. And the reason that you have high tea in the north rather than afternoon tea in the south is because of the size of the table. High tea was served on a high table because the Duchess of Devonshire had a bad back and she couldn't have tea served on a low table, a low coffee table, which is what it was served in Anna's house, because there was 2 sofas and a table in the middle and they put the food on the table. She couldn't bend, so it was high tea. And all of this bullshit about the etiquette around afternoon tea and blah, it's all nonsense. It's all made up. These were basically duchesses who were fucking ravenous and needed to eat in their bedroom.
Yeah, they're
And
basically me when I go to bed at night with my Maltesers, because I've not had anything proper to eat all day. So I go to bed at 11 o'clock or 10:30 if I'm lucky, and I sit and scoff my little Maltesers.
So
essentially, what you're saying is I'm a duchess.
If you want to be a duchess, Helen, no problem. You can be a duchess.
I'm a duchess. Thank you.
But, so it's this whole thing. Now, I personally put my cream on first. And
Obviously.
my jam on second because
I can't actually.
I like a good deal of clotted cream. I do enjoy clotted cream.
I can't actually cope with the idea. It's actually making me feel a bit ill.
What's making me feel on is scone with cream and biltong powder. Leonie, go stand in the corner.
Leonie, what the actual living fuck?
Yeah, go stand in the corner. You're a disgrace to the cult.
The idea of jam.
Jam or
So
preserves. Preserves is basically middle class
Jam.
people trying to be posh.
Also, Law Junkie referred to being pregnant earlier, and I think they are actually a female. And we always call Law Junkie male, him.
No, I know Law Junkie is a woman. It's
Oh.
Vama Law that's a man.
Oh, sorry.
We have two law people.
No, I knew that, but I thought we always said Law Junkie was. Oh well, there we are. Duchess Helen and Emperor Paul. Don't excuse me. What the hell? Why is Paul outranking me? I outrank him. I would like you all to know. Thank you very much. In real world talk, genuinely.
Have you finished?
If we went to dinner.
Have you finished?
No, this pisses him off so much. It's like a trigger.
No, it doesn't. I just don't believe that it's information that you need to share with the world.
Oh, because they're calling you king or emperor and you want to retain that.
No, I don't care about that. You're very free with your own personal information.
Well, I never used to be.
Yes, so you need to stop. Because people are going to steal your identity or turn up at your office.
Well, the problem with this is because of certain people in my world, all you have to do is Google me.
Yeah, and Googling you is fine. I told you what had happened when I started doing TikTok.
No. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, you did. Yes.
Yeah. 3 crazy fuckers turned up at my office. Oh my god, we're here to see Paul. It's like, hello, crazy. You need to go away.
Run away!
We love your videos. Like, good. So watch them and please back away slowly, making human noises.
Excuse me, run away. Did you see PFAD was trying to, Padfa. Do you have to call Helen Milady too? Yes. Padfa was trying to trigger you by saying psychology says people who put jam on first are more likely to be psychopaths, but I actually think that's probably accurate. Sorry, Helen Harris. I know you're you're in the jam first camp, but the idea of jam and then mixing the cream, that is what was making me feel really ill.
I think Padfa's actually correct. I would agree with that, and I would happily diagnose psychopathy.
Amazing.
Law Junkie says 54-year-old childcare provider in Massachusetts, married to a police officer, 2 adult children. There you go.
Oh, well, thank you. We'll steal your identity now.
Married to a police officer in Massachusetts. No, really? Probably Irish as well. Definitely.
What makes you say that?
Not Law Junkie, but the police. Oh, come on, Helen. Irish police officer in Massachusetts. I mean, it's
Paul, I haven't lived in America.
I mean, it's so cliche. It's so stereotypical. It's bordering on cliche. Everyone, quick like this YouTube on and thumbs up. Oh yes, do that.
Oh yeah, do all the likey things. Helen, it's all right. I will accept you despite your jam crimes. Do not fear.
In Canada, you can be terminated without cause, but you get government benefits for up to a year afterwards. Can you really? I didn't know that. I thought Canada was civilized.
In France, they're what's it called?
Unemployment benefit?
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's the same in Switzerland.
It's phenomenal. You can join the hub. Join the hub, everyone, and have my life story while you do your ironing. Lol. Funny. What does it mean if you put jam into the scone before you bake them that you need to be executed, Denise? Sorry.
No, Basil, you're
That was a bit harsh. That was a bit harsh.
It's not just you. I turned on my air conditioning and...
yes. You're too hot.
That's what you heard. Law Junkie says cliche. Damn it. Not Irish, English and French, actually. Your husband is an English and French policeman. That's not acceptable. There's definitely has to be some Irish blood in there.
Helen, may I invite you to just not put jam on if you don't like it? I just really don't like jam, so putting it on first means a small scrape of jam followed by a huge dollop of cream. Just don't have the jam. Just don't. And no, you're not imagining things. He does it. It's so funny, isn't it? Because every time, not every time, but throughout the summer, Paul and I will meet on to record, and I'll be like, "There's something wrong with your sound. Your mic's being really weird." He's like, "No, it's just he's got a really high what's it called? Noise gate." But you hear it when he speaks, the sound of the aircon, but then it stops when he's not speaking. So I always think it's the microphone's screwed up, and it's not, is it? It's just
it's not. It's just that.
So,
But
not.
no,
Yeah.
have you seen actually what's speaking about Canada and the at will employment? I didn't know that, but I mean, I'm not surprised that there's unemployment benefit there. Did you see the Canadian Prime Minister take the piss out of Donald Trump? It was so fucking funny.
Oh, get it up.
Let me see. Can I find it? It was the funniest thing ever.
See, I said to Paul before the stream, what if they haven't watched it? What will we talk about? And he looked at me, he just went, what do you mean, what will we talk about? I was like, what will we talk about? What will we talk about? And I was like, oh yeah, no, fair play. Because if you guys knew how much of our time was spent actually talking and how much time was actually spent recording, you would be horrified. We meet at 12, we finish at 5:30, and it takes an hour maybe to record the episode, an hour and a half max. So
I know,
funny.
it's absolutely true.
We just waffle. Last night we met for half an hour. We ended up on for 3. Was it 3 hours? In the
Was
end?
it that long? I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, Amy, you've done the course on the hub. This month's course on the hub is people pleasing, and there is a very big trigger warning on I think it's module 6, because the next module is people pleasing and sex, and that's exciting.
People pleasing and sex.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
How people might people
This
please in
order?
bed.
I found it.
Yes, I've watched it. Adolescence.
This is the. I haven't actually. This is the funniest shit ever. Watch this.
This order, it's a wonderful order. It's a beautiful order. This order is pulling American booze off the liquor mart shelves.
Oh my god.
That is the funniest shit I have ever seen.
That is amazing.
That is a direct piss take. A direct piss take.
I mean, he couldn't have mocked him more if he painted himself orange and put on a ginger wig, could he?
Right?
Like, that was amazing. That was amazing.
What new
That's so
videos are
funny.
coming up? I'm pretty middle ground politically, but Trump said some insane things about Canada. Most Americans don't agree with them. No, I agree with you, because actually I have American clients, and the grand majority of... Here's the thing. Everybody accuses me of hating Americans, and I don't really. I just dislike...
Just hate people.
Well, there's that. I just dislike a particular portion of them, because it's nothing to do with being American. It's just they're so fucking blinded and blinkered. You know, it's like it's like use some critical
There's no
thinking.
self-awareness.
No, use some critical thinking. But it's like no, you shouldn't use BetterHelp.
Oh yeah, shall I explain why I would never accept money from them? Because therapists in the UK, as a rule, are very underpaid for their skill set. So there is a huge responsibility and burden on us for people. I mean, literally, if people will die if we get it wrong. I mean, it's really dangerous potentially. And essentially, the thing with BetterHelp is that they are a pyramid scheme type platform. Is that right? Do you think? Well, maybe not pyramid scheme, but they
No, I think that's
basically
going a bit far.
No, okay. Well, I don't know if they do affiliates and stuff, but basically, BetterHelp pay. They advertise on the basis that they're really cheap and affordable, and you get this discount and that discount and blah, 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 blah. But they pay therapists horribly, and I mean like minimum wage, and it's just insulting. A lot of therapists are not business savvy, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but they're not, and we don't get taught about running private practice, which I actually think is a massive flaw in the system in terms of training. And sorry, just a little bing, bing, bing. I'm sure you can imagine the lights that are going off. And the BetterHelp exploit people because, as therapists, I mean, they're not very good at regulating and standard checking, but also they just don't pay well. And I'm very sick of that as a therapist who, you know, any platform that advertises cheap therapy and has like the way my therapy directory works is that people pay me a subscription per year, and they get whatever clients they get, they're theirs to keep. I have no income from that. I would never. Well, I might eventually do something, but only for ease of. And it would not be. Anyway, that's a whole different business
So yes,
model
it
thing.
is. The whole moral upshot is they don't pay enough, don't use them.
Yes, don't
Okay.
use them. Don't work for them. Don't advertise them. They're pricks.
Okay.
So, yes, the end.
Liz
yeah.
Patterson says, I'm pretty middle ground politically, but Trump said someone saying things about Canada. And then Sibba's mum says that Canadians are polite but sassy as fuck. It's so true. It's so true. This is the thing as well. I get accused all of the time of being a Tory. All of the time. And for those of you who don't know,
Oh, yes,
Tories
you do, don't you? Yes.
Tories would be the Conservative Party here in the UK.
They're fairly liberal. You always say,
but compared to America, the Conservative Party here will essentially be leftist,
Yes.
left-wing communists to the Americans.
I mean, truly.
But I'm not. I'm actually very centrist in terms of my views.
I'm much more left wing than you are, I think.
Oh yeah, totally, 100% you are. I mean, you're verging on the crazy.
No, I'm not. I have some center. I think it's just sensible things. My thing is just common sense. Like, let's apply common sense.
Right, exactly. But also,
That's all
it's like,
and some empathy.
Yeah, but also you can be too liberal and progressive in terms of, not you personally, but I'm just in general. I don't believe that you have to buy into everybody's narrative. I don't believe that you have to pander to people just because. And I don't believe that you have to allow people to do things just because that's how they identify or how they feel, or it's like, no, bitch, no.
But that's still a common sense approach. There's a line.
There is a line, there has to be a line.
For me, it's about, and for me, the line is accommodating you hurting someone else. Is it oppressing someone else? And if that's the case, and I don't mean they feel it oppresses them, like men who get annoyed about equality with women, but more that
do they?
This will. Oh, some of them, yeah. Women are just making such a fuss.
Go
on. But when the demand of an individual hurts the community, or it hurts another human, so the impact on that other person is too much, then yeah, there's a line as far as I'm concerned.
There's a line. I mean, your rights, your right to say whatever you want, or your right to freedom stops where my right to safety begins. You don't get
100%.
You don't get to say whatever the fuck you want just because of freedom of speech. No.
You can have freedom of speech, but you don't get freedom of consequences.
Absolutely. And you don't get freedom to hurl vitriol and hate.
No,
no, that's not freedom of speech. That's hatred.
absolutely.
But I mean, the thing is that there's no common sense. Yeah, I mean, it's true. It, it's actually the performative grandstanding, pearl clutching, virtue signaling that fucks me off.
Oh, the virtue signaling.
Oh my god, no! It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, it's like when Pride Month, and then all of a sudden everyone's got a fucking rainbow because everybody's so LGBT friendly. But meanwhile, someone's being bullied every bloody day because
Well,
they're
this is
gay
it.
in their
Yeah.
company, like, or trans, or they're being excluded, or they won't do a gender neutral bathroom, or whatever it might be that just gives somebody a space. Or it's just, don't hop on the train just to make yourself look virtuous. when
One way or the
actually-
other. I mean,
yeah.
the whole gender neutral bathroom thing doesn't bother me. Well, as long as it's only like a single bathroom. I don't want to go into a bathroom where there are like you there. I don't want to be washing my hands next to you by the sink.
I don't
No
want
offense.
that either.
It's
No.
like, no,
No.
thank you very much.
But what I actually don't want it with anybody. It's not.
Well,
it's
yes,
not even
this is
gender
me as
specific.
well. I don't
just
actually want to with anyone, you know.
I'd like
I
a wing, thank you. I don't. I just wanted a wing with soundproofing.
Quite.
And yes. Yeah.
The same.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
But
Absolutely. Erin said, and I'm just bragging because it was the most amazing thing. No longer a people pleaser during sex, thanks to Helen's advice from a live session. I haven't watched The Hub this month yet, but I'm sure it's fantastic content. And then Amy said, I remember that session. So good. Helen is awesome. Thanks,
right,
Amy.
okay. Well, there you go. Immediately, two people pleasers telling you that you changed their life after one live session. That's
I tell you
people
what,
pleasing.
that
That's
live
not true.
session, I remember that session, and it
Yes.
was.
And I'm sure it was, and I'm
amazing.
sure it was wonderful, and it was all great. Behaviorally speaking, it is not possible to change behavior after one session.
Yes, it is. Disagree.
No, it's not. I don't care.
You're
whether
not a
you
fucking
disagree or not.
clinician. Shut up.
I don't care whether you disagree or not. It's not. It can change your approach
Erin
to
says,
something.
"Bite me, Paul." See, she's asked. She's making sexual demands. No, I'm joking. Sorry, Erin. She's no longer scared to express her needs for fear
Yeah.
of your rejection.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I
Mm-hmm.
think people should have the right to live their lives the way they choose, as long as it's not hurting people and it's consensual. Yes. And I don't know why that's such a hard concept either.
No.
You know? Like, what difference does it make to you who somebody fucks in a bedroom?
And how they do it,
And
what
how they
they're
do it.
wearing.
You know? If
What
they
they
want to wear
listen-
gimp suits and put jam on their scones before the cream, which is obviously going hand in hand, then
Poor
let
Helen
them.
Harris. I'm so sorry,
Then
Helen.
let them, you know?
I mean, just
Um,
let people live. Good God, as long as you're not hurting.
You
who
can't
cares?
change unless you know what the problem. Exactly. And one session may highlight the problem to you, but it won't change.
Yes, you
behavior.
can. Las Vegas, Lost Soul. On the Hub, can you listen to all live calls? Yes, as long as you're in the right. There's two tiers, and so you only get access to.
And it's also not technically one session. Look at all your people pleasers coming out to defend you. Virtue signaling. Helen, I'm still here. No, Helen, I know you're still here. Absolutely. That was said intentionally.
I was protecting you.
Yeah. The whole,
Oh dear.
the whole, you want to bounce on cock, have at it. You want preserves, whatever, butter first, your choice. Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, I don't know.
That
Hang
kind
on, we
of-
might be going too
Oh,
far.
yeah,
then.
we might
because
be,
that actually is
you know.
hurting me.
That's incredibly left-wing and too far left. I'm not prepared to go that far left.
I mean, there is a line. We've been very clear.
You know, butter first, 100%. Do you know, I do love a buttered scone, actually.
I do actually.
Yeah.
Do you know what I really dislike though? This could cause some upset. I hate and I mean loathe, would burn them all to hell, put them in front of a firing squad, execution, lecture,
Okay, we
all of
get
those.
it.
Yep.
There's a lot of unresolved hatred here. Go on.
Sultanas and scones.
Oh my god, I love them.
I fucking hate them.
Ah, I hate a plain scone. Hate it.
Oh my
It's
god.
so boring.
I can't bear sultanas in anything.
Oh no, and I love a
apart
rock
from
bun.
sultana brown.
Oh, that
Love
malt
sultana
bread
brown.
thing.
No, sultana brown is cereal. It's like
Oh.
bran flakes with sultanas
Oh
on
yes,
top.
I know what you're talking about.
Warm scones, of course, warm. Who has room temperature scones?
Butter jam
if you
has no
had to
political
push.
power. Liz,
What?
no, butter jam is very important.
Get out, Helen.
Um,
Okay, bye.
But do you know what else I love? A rock bun. Do you know what a rock bun is?
Yes.
It's a bit like a
it-
scone, actually, but delicious
Yes.
and bigger.
Yes.
And
No,
what do you
because they've
call
got
those-
raisin things in them.
What do you call those flat ones that you get in Scotland?
When you get Welsh cakes, do you mean
Oh,
bollocks.
yes.
Square
You also
scones you're
get them
talking
in.
about.
I love a Welsh cake. Delicious, absolutely delicious.
You can get raspberry jam ones. They're amazing.
I
Welsh
haven't had
cakes.
them.
They're very good.
Is there a psychological opposite of a people pleaser?
Yes, hyper independent or avoidant.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I do have a burst pleasure in upsetting people. Oh yeah, that's psychopathy.
Yes. Or sociopathy. One of the two.
Yeah.
Or
just being a
malignant narcissism.
or just being a prick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I identify. I identify just, I make
Yeah.
the best rock buns. Yeah, I'd love to see Paul
That's
do
a
a.
claim.
You really wouldn't love to see Paul do a help coaching call. You'd all leave devastated and in tears.
I mean, you would cry. You would cry. Do you remember what I told you the other day when he said to me, "Stop fawning. It's irritating. There's no sugar fucking coating.
There's no.
There's no sugar coating. There's no cushion. You just get it straight." And yeah.
You
Do you
and
remember I
both,
said the other day?
Padfa.
Sorry.
Padfa, I'm saying identify as a prick, and he's like, me too. No, there's no sugarcoating because I don't believe that it helps anyone when you pander to their nonsense and you sugarcoat
Well,
stuff.
I
Now,
agree.
having said that, it's very important that you're not so brutal that it devastates somebody. So you can't be cruel or mean.
You're not
but-
mean.
No,
You're just direct.
but I won't pander,
No, and this is the thing I think people misunderstand as well, because
Oh,
You're
Lord
not
Junkie and I are going to get
unkind.
on like a house on fire. She has no filter. Her fucking filter's broken. She pisses everyone off. Yeah, I'm with you. So, no, I'm not unkind. I'm not unkind.
not in the slightest.
But I won't pander.
Paul is
at all.
savage when he's trying to help you. No, he's not, though. He's not. And I mean this very kindly. It feels savage because of our wounds. He's just direct. There's no meanness, there's no judgment, there's no shame, there's no none of that. And it's just a demand to be your best self. And,
Absolutely.
You know,
And I mean, my most common question, not to also my staff, but also friends of mine and you, it's when they say, "Oh, I can't do this or I won't do that." My question is why? Why? Why can't you do it? For what
when
reason?
have I said to you I can't do?
Oh, you do it all the time. Oh no, I
That
can't
is
do
not true.
that because no, I can't record because I'm busy or I have to feed my children or any other of these ridiculous excuses that are made up.
That's a very different thing to I am unable to
It's
complete a
not
task.
real life.
No, Paul,
You
who is not
basically
having...
call somebody and say there are hungry children, feed them.
I'm going to drop them at your house.
I still wouldn't see them.
I know you wouldn't. In fact, no, I'm going to do a human swap. I'm going to take your humans, you're going to have my humans, and then we'll see who can't do things because they've got responsibilities.
Yeah, I'd end up in jail. because they would be locked in a room somewhere. And
Oh no, I don't think that's true. I think the youngest would.
there'd be brain scrambling. Paul would be the
The
funniest
youngest
therapist
would.
ever.
By the time I picked them up, the youngest would probably be Prime Minister.
Maybe. So.
That's what I reckon.
Paul would be the funniest therapist ever. What the fuck is your problem? Get over it next. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not as unfeeling as everybody seems to believe I am. I do have empathy for people who are going through very particular things. And who want to fix
Sorry,
it.
Deaths of animals, yes.
Yes. Death of humans, not so much. But
it depends on their age.
Yeah. And how good looking they are. But you know, I'm not unsympathetic to people who are going through stuff. I'm not unempathetic to people who want to fix it and better themselves and have therapy, and I'm not against any of that at all. What I do have serious issues with, and I won't pander to, is people who continuously play the victim.
Oh,
I just won't do it.
It drives me in. No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yes, you've been through an incredibly hard time. Yes, you have all of these trauma wounds and this traumatic experience. Yes, it has impacted your behavior 100%. Yes, it has impacted your worldview. And fantastic that you have come to therapy to fix it. But you are not the victim here. You know?
It's more, no, you are a victim, but you don't need to be a disempowered, weaponize the victim space.
Yes, 100%. But what you'll find is a lot of people using this victim mentality to make excuses for things. Because it becomes
why you're allowed to continue the toxic behavior.
It becomes a safety blanket. You know,
I call it the trauma code because it becomes your identity.
Yeah, it becomes
because you don't because you don't know who you are under it.
Paul will crumble under the pressure. Kids are so demanding. Oh, 100%. I absolutely.
Oh, he doesn't deny that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But my youngest loves him.
There's no denying this at all. I don't like children. I don't even like my own nieces and nephews.
You do. You're such a fibber. Like.
We saw your empathy on the Menendez videos.
One thing I know, one thing you do, which is, I don't know if you know that you do this, so I'm sure you do because you're very self-aware about it. How validating you can be. Do you know that?
You know my opinion on that. Why say something to beat somebody down when you can say something to build somebody up? It takes the same energy.
But it's even things where I've shared with you things like messages I've had or whatever, and you've just gone, I cannot believe that somebody could say those things, or, you know, like, without going into massive detail, just like where a lot of people might be quite dismissive and say things like, well, they're really hurt or whatever. You're just immediately like, no, that's outrageous. And so.
Again, it's this whole idea of, you know, not pandering to either part. And by the same token, if you're in the wrong, I will say to you.
You have.
Yeah.
And you do. And that's actually why, I say to the hub lot, this is why I find you safe, because I know that if I'm in the wrong, I'll hear about it. And if you're pissed off with me, I'll hear about it. But I also know it will never be weaponized against me and it never gets brought up again.
They're saying I can barely hear Paul speak. Really?
I mean, maybe count your blessings.
Patfa says, I've dealt with many genuine victims and it's never empowering or affirming. No, it's not. No, it's not empowering or affirming at all. It's a terrible place to be in. And I mean, I've said this to you numerous times.
Multiple times.
That it's not, you know, it's just... I find it very difficult to fathom and understand how people go through life like that, because I have no experience of it.
No.
So it's very alien to me that people think in a very particular way. And you have to explain it to me in layman's terms in ways that I will understand.
I have to do
And-
lots of analogies and painting pictures and things, don't I?
Right?
Yeah.
But again, it's this it's I have nothing against therapy at all, and I think if
What do you mean?
you
Hang on a
need
minute.
it-
Sorry.
Mm.
The way you just said it made it sound like you're actually very affirming of therapy, but it's got to be the right therapy.
I am very
That's-
affirming of therapy, and you're absolutely right. It has to be the right therapy. I have no time for the bullshit
No,
or the nonsense.
no.
And I also have no time for therapists who talk about this bullshit and nonsense. So
Yes, I agree.
people have so much sympathy for animals, but children are abused and hurt, and it kills me. Turn on TV and see animals in cages with sad music. There are babies born addicted to stop heroin. Oh, really? I mean, the
Animals are
child and
abused
baby
too.
thing. And you're absolutely right that this whole idea of... I have a big issue with anybody who can't defend themselves. It's a sense of fairness.
Yes.
So animals, babies, children, people who won't fight, who can't fight
Traumatized
back.
people who are scared to fight.
But not just
because of-
traumatized people. I'm also talking about waiters in restaurants or
Oh, sorry. Yes.
bartenders
So, like
behind
if they're
bars. And
yes.
if you are being I very nearly said it.
I've been waiting. I was wondering if it might
Yeah.
be me or you. Yeah.
No, it almost popped out. It's like, but if
C
you are
word.
being a prick to somebody because you know they can't fight back, you are a bully and you deserve for the ground to be cut out from under you. You deserve for somebody to beat the shit out of you.
Mhm.
Am I advocating violence? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am.
I am the thing with there's a very big difference between being the victim of something and sitting in a victim space and weaponizing it. As in, I'm so helpless, powerless, everyone needs to do everything for me, make all the excuses as to why I can't do anything for myself, and refuse to take responsibility for my behavior. And the difference is empowerment. As in, this really shit thing has happened to me. It's impacted me really negatively. It's not my fault. It's crap it happened, but I have to manage and take responsibility for the way I then impact the world because of it.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Which is 100%.
Padva says that he's met victims who would never want to be victims. I can't find the comment.
I saw it up. I saw it further up. I think it's
Victim is a
bit-
shameful state that most people recoil from, and I'm always deeply suspicious of self-indulgent victims. I mean, that's a really good phrase, self-indulgent victims, because it is self-indulgent.
in
it
that
is.
place that I just described. Yes.
Yes,
When
I'm
somebody's
not talking
going,
about people. So Liz says that she was the victim of a crime, and she felt it shameful. Well, you shouldn't have felt it shameful simply because you had no control over it.
and that's
have-
you internalizing their behavior being about you and your flawed humanness.
Right.
And it's not. It's their flawed humanness that they had to do it. Right. We do not get targeted as victims of crime because of our, I mean, maybe actually in this case, our moral, largely nobody is targeted because of their moral standing, their character, their goodness or not. It's because the person perpetrating the crime has some kind of issue, particularly with sex crimes. And that is where if somebody assaults someone else sexually, that is not anything to do with the victim, and it is everything to do with the perpetrator. And another thing is, it's nothing to do with sex and everything to do with power.
Power and
Because you can
control,
buy
absolutely.
sex. You do
Yeah,
not
yeah, for
need
sure.
to rape somebody.
No, it's nothing to do with sex. It never has been. Not in that situation, for sure. Ella Anna says, ironically, the Mangione case has been perceived like a David and Goliath bully thing. Yes, it has. Absolutely. Such a hero.
I'm
some might
confused.
say,
Who's
virtue
David and
signaling.
who's Goliath?
Well, I suppose it depends on which part of the argument you're on, doesn't it? But I mean,
doesn't it
Goliath
just?
is going to be the government coming down hard on Mangione, isn't it? I mean, did he kill that person? I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. Should he
No.
be should he be punished? Yes. Yes. You don't just randomly go around killing people just because you disagree
Menendez
with them.
brothers is an example, right?
And yes, they should have been punished for killing their parents. It's
Not.
the extremity of the punishment that I have issues with, you know? Because there has to be, within the Menendez case, there were mitigating circumstances. They were brutally, brutally abused. This guy wasn't brutally
Yeah.
abused. He just. And what also makes it worse is that he came from a wealthy family. So him being turned down for the medical procedures or whatever the case may be wouldn't have had the same impact on him as it would have had for somebody else. So, you know.
Oh wait, so is he virtue signaling even? Hero syndroming?
I think
Luigi.
virtue signaling probably not, but hero signaling, yeah, I would say there's a bit of a hero complex there, for sure. Yeah, savior complex.
Yeah.
I'm going to save all the less fortunate people, and you know, I'm fighting for the disenfranchised, and I'm fighting for people who can't fight for themselves and stuff like that. There are easier ways to fight for people who can't fight for themselves than murdering somebody on the street. So, you know,
Yes.
whilst I have empathy and sympathy for the situation, I'm not blinded by the fact that, you know, he killed somebody, no matter how abhorrent, he shouldn't have done it. Was Brian Thompson a prick? For sure. Without a doubt. You know, he made some awful, awful business decisions which impacted hundreds of thousands of people and their livelihood and all the rest of it. Does he deserve to die? There's two arguments to that. One side will say, well, he signed the death warrant of thousands of people by bringing these rules into play. And there's some truth in that. But that was a job. His job as the CEO of that company is to make sure that that company makes money.
And continues to employ people.
And continues to employ people. That is his job.
Right.
So you can't. That's like saying, should we now murder people who. Should we now murder state executioners? Because they murder people all of the time by pressing the, you know, lethal injection button or whatever the case may be. So, because that is their job. Their job is to kill people. Now, whether it's a state-sanctioned execution or a personal sanctioned execution, it's still killing people. Do some people deserve to die for what they've done? That's complicated.
I really struggle with the death penalty thing. I just don't know where I sit with it, because I see on one hand, but I also think, what hope for humanity is there if that's all we're doing all the time? Is that there's no
an eye for an eye.
Yeah, well, it's that, was it Gandhi that said that everyone ends up blind, or who was it that said that? If we have an eye for an eye, everyone ends up blind. And it's I really struggle with it, because I get the desire for it. I understand the need for like revenge and
Well, yeah, the
whatever.
desire for revenge is an inherently human need when we're
then
wronged.
But then if you're talking like 20 years after the fact and you've still got a need for revenge, there's maybe something else going on there. You know, that feels, and I mean, I've not been in that position, so I find it tricky to know, you know, I find it very difficult to know how I would feel. But I think,
oh, I would feel rage, unadulterated rage.
So would I. I know that.
Yeah, but I'm very vengeful.
I know you are. But you're only vengeful to people who have really done you dirty.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're not just petty vengeful.
No, I'm not. But you know, if you've done shit stuff, and yeah, I will own your children and your house. And then I will bulldoze your house to the ground and send you pictures of it. This kind of petty shit. You know?
Dear, don't upset Russell, Jesus Christ.
There are laws and rules. You cannot just shoot someone dead in the streets. I 100% agree with that.
That's not true, though. Hang on a minute, because that isn't true. You can shoot someone dead in the street if you've got justifiable cause. or if you are a police officer
Well,
in
I was saying,
America.
well, her husband is a police officer.
So,
So,
you know, like there seems to be exemptions to every rule.
yeah, and immunity
And
to it as well. So here's the thing. Get rid of the guns.
I thought you said the C word then. And I was
No,
like, excuse
get
me.
rid of the guns. It's pretty much that
Yes.
simple. Death
I heard
penalty
some
is
people saying
understandable,
that.
but in a judicial form, we have had an immaculate legal system, and we have to have an immaculate legal system, and we are too far off that. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to
Yes,
make that
yes.
decision of we're going to put you to death, you have to have a legal system which is flawless. Flawless.
You really do. And it can't be richest man wins,
No.
because that is what happens in the States.
But
Richest
I think
men.
that happens everywhere, Helen, to be quite honest with you.
I don't know that it happens in the UK so much. It might do to a degree, but I don't think so. Not in
Well,
the
I mean, I know a lot of the times the judges here, if you are wealthy and you are a public figure, they're going to make a
example of you.
example of you. Look at what happened to Jeffrey Archer.
Oh
know?
yes.
Look at what happened to what's his name, Lord Brockett.
Who?
No?
I don't know that one.
Oh yeah, fucked in prison. You should know better. Yeah.
And he should. I don't know who he is, but I'm just saying it because he's Lord Brockett.
Yeah.
But that's just it. The rules aren't the same for everyone. And
No.
actually, there is a place where that is appropriate because of equity. You can't say that a man with Down syndrome and learning an intellectual age of 4, and I'm very broad speaking there, so don't take me as like that's what I think of Down syndrome, and it's not. But say somebody who's got massive learning difficulties and social communication disorders and whatever else kills somebody, they can't be treated the same as a totally competent 25-year-old. They just can't. You can't. So there
100%.
has to be disparity in treatment, but in an appropriate manner, and appropriate application.
Absolutely. I mean, Law Junkie says my husband has never shot anyone. My husband would literally need to be defending someone to pull his gun. The responsibility is enormous. And good, the responsibility
Yes,
should
that
be
is
enormous.
as it should be.
You know? And here's the thing. I know that we see... Of course, we don't see the good because
yes, because
it doesn't sell newspapers or get clicks or views or whatever. You know, so you don't see the police officers who are helpful, who are nice, who do things. All you see are the really shitty ones who give everybody else a bad name.
Yeah.
Because negativity bias sells.
Of course it does. We want to believe bad shit because it keeps us safe.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, there's no news when you say, oh, well, this policeman has done his job well for 30 years and has helped the community and has never drawn his gun. There's no news in that.
No.
But if you say this policeman here is an absolute prick and is power tripping, there's news in that. So it kind of skews the mentality, doesn't it? You know?
Well, it's just bias then, isn't it? It feeds a bias constantly.
It's 100% bias. Now,
all the
that's
time.
not to say there aren't police officers who do power trip. They do. Of course they do. Everywhere, not just in the US. Here in the UK too.
Do they do psychological assessments on police officers here or the States?
Yes. Here, yes. Absolutely they do.
We should do Wayne Couzens at some point.
When
do you know who he is?
No, I have no idea. You mention these people to me and I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever. I actually just don't even acknowledge them.
Do you know who Sarah Everard is?
I do not.
Jesus fucking Christ. How do you not know? You live in London.
And
there was a huge, I think it was 2020 it happened, and it essentially sent women into space with rage. And there was women did a peaceful protest in, I think it was in Hyde Park, it might have been somewhere else, and were then arrested and taken away for breaking COVID restrictions. But they were being very, like, it was an unnecessary reaction to the protest. and it was just massive at the time. So I'm stunned that you didn't see it.
How can you miss that in London? Well, A, I travel a lot, and B, I'm not that particularly interested in it unless somebody comes to me with it or it makes me money.
Although he could be lying that he's in London, because all we ever see is this little red box.
That's also true. That's also
You know.
true. I could be anywhere. I could actually be
could
in
be brown,
America. What somebody said something. Yeah, Liz says it's complicated, but police misconduct is actually rare. But if you don't understand the system like a tourist would, it can definitely be more dangerous. And I would probably not be surprised that police misconduct is rare, because again, you're only seeing the ones who are misbehaving. You know, so when you have hundreds of thousands of police officers and you're seeing maybe 1,000 police officers who are shit, it's a tiny small percentage, isn't it? But of course it's magnified simply because of the sheer volume of media we have now, so everything is magnified, you know. When I was in Boston the last time with my business partner, just before COVID, we were going to I was bringing her to see the what do you call it, the Rock of Plymouth, the Plymouth Rock, and which is bitterly disappointing, by the way.
It's the smallest little thing in the whole world, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's tiny.
It's like, it's ridiculous. And so we parked up on the footpaths to go and see it, like you would here in the UK. And because you know, I didn't want to park on the road. So we were getting out of the car, and this police car pulled up behind us, going, yeah. My business partner was like, "We're so fucked."
I know. I have absolutely no doubt exactly how she reacted. Terrified.
Yeah.
Absolutely
She's like,
shitting
"We're
herself.
so fucked.
Yeah.
We're going to be shot, and everything is going to be awful." And I'm like, "Don't be so ridiculous. Whatever we've done, the moment we open our mouth, he's going to know we're tourists." And he pulled us over and he said, "You know, you can't park here. This is illegal." And he asked for license and registration. I'm like, "I don't know what registration is, but here's a license." And so he looked at my license and he was like, "British?" I'm like, "Yes." And I looked at I looked at his surname, and his surname was O'Neill, and I looked at him and I went, "Irish?" Like,
that's exactly what I'd have done. Irish?
He was like, "Mm-hmm." I'm like, "How are we going to solve this?" He's like, "What you're going to do is you're going to follow me down the road to the parking lot where you can park and then walk back up." I was like, "Yes, please." So we did, and he brought us to a car park, and he was incredibly pleasant and sweet all the time while my business partner was sitting there going, "I can't believe we're not dead. I can't believe we're not dead. I can't believe we're not dead." It's like, you need to chill the fuck out.
You need to calm down.
No.
That's so funny.
You know, and I have to tell you, anytime I have interacted with the American police, now I've only interacted with them in New York and in Boston, they've actually been incredibly pleasant. You know, they really have.
I'm trying to think when I've been in the States.
Now, I will tell you that when I've interacted with Homeland Security at the border, they're all pricks.
Power trips, though,
yeah,
right?
Because bad-mannered, obnoxious pricks. You know, I think when your job is constant adrenaline rush for every 911 call it affects you, I would go crazy. Oh, I totally agree.
I mean, the cortisol exposure on its own is going to be horrendous.
Yeah. I mean, it's why they burn out, isn't it? Because they're basically fueled on adrenaline and cortisol all of the time.
Constant. It must be a really high...
Up, crash, crash. That's enough to give you a stroke.
Well, there must be a very high addiction. I think isn't there, a really high addiction, mental health conditions as well in that because...
I would imagine so, yeah.
I would imagine
for sure. SK says, Look at the last case in Belgium where the rapist got off and can continue to become a gynecologist because he's young and shows great promise. Shit, are you serious?
Like the swimmer, Brett. What was his name? The guy in America who roofied this woman, dragged her out, or took her outside, was raping her by a skip. She was rescued by 3 other men who saw and were like, something's wrong. Caught him because he ran off. She was then hospitalized, raped, it turned out, or blah, blah, blah. And when they went to court, the judge gave him I can't remember what the actual sentence was, but essentially said he's young and there's no point ruining his whole life for it. Brock Turner, was it? Like, it was like, we shouldn't ruin this boy's life because he's raped this girl.
Yes, that I remember.
Right? Whereas
Simply
the girl
because
is like,
people
my
were
life is
sending
ruined.
me clips of this going, what's the psychology behind this?
What the fuck is this?
I'm like, the psychology behind it is the judge is clearly a maniac. That's the psychology behind it. Or the parents have paid somebody off. Law Junkie says, yes to be... I think this is an answer to your question of whether police have psychological evaluations.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah,
yes to be hired, but after that, no, unless you're in a traumatic event. My husband had a fatality with a baby who passed from SIDS, and it wrecked him. Oh, of course it would have wrecked him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That would be awful.
He did CPR and everything. 1 therapy visit.
What?
And this goes back to my whole thing of you can't fix something with one episode or with 1 visit. It's just not possible.
1 visit.
That's awful.
I mean, he would have horrendous PTSD from that. Horrendous.
And flashbacks and self-blame and awful. Yeah, awful.
Do you know when they
Mall security is always on a power trip. They are in the state. I mean, they do here too, but here it's like, listen, shut the fuck up, stay in your lane.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do. The rest of us go, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Do not speak to me. Do not make eye contact. How dare you make eye contact with me? Drop your eyes to the floor. I said that to somebody once. Years
you
and
said
years
what?
And years
Drop
ago. I said, how dare you make eye contact with me?
Oh,
I actually think it was a security guard from a shopping center. Being a prick.
Amazing. I wanted to know, before you move on, you know, when we were talking about executioners and that this is their job and stuff, I was thinking back, do you remember, I think it was when Ceausescu was assassinated, or not assassinated, executed. I seem to remember. I don't know what happened.
He was murdered. He was hung
upside down. No, he was executed.
No, it was a mob killing. Like
Ceausescu.
Yes, Romania.
Yeah, he was executed. I'm telling you, he was executed.
He wasn't officially executed. It
was a kangaroo court. It was
correct. Yes, but an execution.
But it wasn't like. On the web. What was that?
I don't know. They obviously. Oh,
your phone.
My phone says "Hung Up" is a song by American singer Madonna from her 10th studio album Confessions on the Dance Floor. No idea why I have decided that, but go on.
I seem to remember at the time, so weirdly, that happened, I think it was 1989 or 90, and I had, when I say abject, horrifying nightmares that Ceausescu was coming to get me, and I mean, terrified I was for a really long time because I'd read it in the newspaper. Anyway, at the age of about 9 or 10. And basically, I seem to remember them saying only 1 gun had a bullet. So everybody else's bullets were blank. So nobody knows who actually killed him. And then I was thinking about, well, when they execute people, because that responsibility of like killing somebody else, even by just pushing the button, is such a, like, that's going to like erode at your sense of self and being.
Yeah, of course it is.
So why
But
don't
I
they have
mean,
like
they do
4
if you
buttons and
they
everyone
do
presses it
if
at the same
right.
time?
Well, they do
Hmm?
if you get they do if you choose firing squad.
Right. But my point being,
Yeah, but that's their job. Like they have official state executioners.
I know, but they're still human beings.
Right, but they applied for it. So,
Like the swordmen and the axemen.
right.
Um,
They chose to do that job.
oh, but then surely that should just exempt you from the job in the first place. If you
No,
want to
not
be the
everybody's
button
a
pusher.
but it comes from all sorts of stuff. You know, a sense of justice. I mean, no, you don't have to be a psychopath to be a state executioner. In fact,
Okay.
the 2 state executioners that I've actually met in my life have been absolutely adorable, completely charming, very, very nice people.
That's hilarious.
Lord Junkie says he has his whole life ahead of him. Fuck off. What about her? Agreed.
Right.
Her book
I
is
know.
incredible. It's Know My Name. Oh, I must look it up and read it. Because absolutely, that's awful. Lord Junkie again also says, yes, it gave him PTSD. It's awful. I can't even imagine. Like, I genuinely
mean,
can't imagine. And you can't just deal with PTSD on your own. It just doesn't go away.
no, you just need so many
And one session is just
tools.
not enough.
And the problem with having PTSD, have you ever witnessed somebody in a full PTSD flashback?
Yes, I have.
Me too. And they thought that they were in downtown, like Baghdad or somewhere. Like it was, they thought they were there. Like they were convinced they were in there. And the problem is that when they're in that state, they become dangerous.
Absolutely.
And
I saw it in Broadmoor all the time.
Oh, of course. I forgot you went. Yeah. He didn't go to Broadmoor.
No,
sorry.
I didn't go to Broadmoor.
He wasn't a resident.
Yeah, no, I mean it's terrifying to watch. Terrifying to watch because these flashbacks are so real that they do become dangerous. And the thing is, if you have somebody like a police officer or a soldier or, you know, a member of special forces or whatever, with the skills to do damage, you know, these people are trained to, maybe not so much police officers, but soldiers and special forces, they're trained to kill. When they're in the process of this PTSD flashback, they lash out through no fault of their own because it's survival. And it can be dangerous to the rest. And I think people have this idea that a flashback is what it sounds like. You know, it's a flashback of a few seconds. It can last hours.
Hours.
You know?
Hours. The same with emotional flashbacks. It's, I mean, hours and hours and hours. And that's actually what distinguishes PTSD and CPTSD. Is PTSD, it's visual flashbacks. CPTSD, it's a mix of visual and emotional. And the emotional ones don't necessarily have an image attached and very, very destabilizing.
Hung Up was a bop. Totally Hung Up was a bop. Love.
I don't even
Madonna
know that I know
is a
that.
bop. I remember seeing Madonna in concert when I was in my teens. Bloody brilliant. Brilliant.
So funny. Oh, Paul, it is now 9:15.
Oh, fuck. We have to go.
Yeah, we better.
You got way too much of our time. You see? No, what are we going to talk about 3 hours later? We're still talking shit. People going, what the fuck are they talking about? I thought this was about Luigi Mangioni. We didn't talk about him at all.
We did at the beginning. I referred to him a few minutes ago. It's fine. Suck it up, buttercups. Like, you got 2 hours of us unfiltered.
Yeah,
well,
you did
slightly
get 2 hours
filtered.
of it. Well, yeah,
you didn't say the C word.
No, I didn't. I nearly did twice.
I've nearly said it a few times too. You're a terrible influence.
Yeah. They did request death by firing squad.
I remember that as well.
It's like the brain is literally going back to the point at which the animal mind thought it was going to die or whatever. It can be days to recover from it. There's no such thing as the animal mind. That's not a thing.
She means the lizard brain.
There's no such thing as the lizard brain.
Well, there is, but
no,
it's not what everyone thinks it is.
No,
everyone thinks it's reptilian. It's just the shape of it looks like a lizard. That's all it is. I looked it up a little while ago.
Mm-hmm. It's an amygdala response.
Yes, but oh god, the person that was going to ask you the question I primed you for isn't here, and they haven't asked you it.
Okay. On behalf of the chat, we all apologize for wasting your time. Very good. Good cult members apologizing when it's not their fault. Well trained.
Well done.
This
There was
was
somebody that I
therapeutic.
thought needed.
Good.
There was somebody I thought needed demoting earlier because they said something. What did it?
Yeah, Law Junkie.
No, it
Because
wasn't
they haven't
Law Junkie.
watched it yet.
No, it wasn't them. I think it was Leonie, actually.
I'm not a therapist. No, I can tell. Saying bye-bye and getting sidetracked again. Yeah, I know. Helen does this all the time. All the time.
I sent, bless your heart, I sent Paul a full description of what had happened to me in the space of about 20 minutes of my thinking, of me trying to do a task. And he literally just wrote back going, that's exhausting.
That's exhausting.
I was like,
absolutely exhausting.
Fucking know. I know. Wait, what? I need to find this comment. It was so funny. Oh, and Erin made an amazing comment earlier, which we didn't say, and we should have done. You feel irritated.
Apparently you didn't watch
am not
yesterday's
irritated.
video, Law Junkie. Sorry to cut across you, Helen.
Yeah,
Law Junkie is going,
while
what?
I'm
What
quoting
didn't I
this
watch?
amazing...
Yesterday's video. Anyway, go on. Erin said what?
Erin said, you feel irritated. I am not irritating. It's a difference, and I think it's important. Oh, fuck. I've just scrolled back up the chat, and I've just seen Amy said, I love sultanas in coleslaw. I think Amy's going to have to get demoted.
Sultanas in coleslaw. Does she add curry powder to it?
But
that's filth. Absolute
that is
filth.
Dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty.
So I think we're actually going to have some sort of jail for the cult, you know?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
What should we give? What kind of a jail should they have?
I don't know, something difficult. Still need to do the cult mom Laurie Vallow Daybell.
The what?
I do enjoy a good cult mom. I don't know who this is. You've triggered Paul now.
Oh. Don't demote me. I'll do what I fucking like.
Oh, snap. I will watch it after this. Okay, good.
All right, you better, because Paul will be watching the comments, and if there isn't one at the end of the video or at a random point, you're going to be in trouble.
Law Junkie, and I know all of that. I can tell who's commenting. And Law Junkie is a very good commenter. Very good commenter. So is SK. And Vicky Briggs. And actually everybody.
And so is Amy.
Yeah.
Everyone who's here is pretty good at commenting.
Yeah, they are. Excellent. So where's the rest of the fuckers? Why didn't they turn
And Amy
up?
very rightly said, in terms of the animal lizard brain debate, I'm not a therapist.
And I said, I know.
And she's not.
I can tell. So, all right, very good. The cult mum story. We're going to want that for sure. Absolutely. Okay. I don't know.
We're gonna have to do an obsessive Paul thing on cults, aren't we?
Yeah.
Keep you happy. Wait, hang on. Mildly Mercurial has entered the chat.
Oh, good. At the end, only 38 likes. What?
And immediately has called everyone out for not liking.
And quite rightly too. Identified the bullshit that's been going on for the last 2 hours.
It's taking the piss. Isn't it? Taking the piss.
Chad Daybell and
2
Laurie
hours
Vallow
and
Daybell.
38 likes.
So can we start hitting likes, please, so I can see these go up?
Everything. I actually think it might not. Does it do the same as TikTok? You know, if someone likes your stream multiple times, they accumulate. But
no, I don't think so. But all of these hearts that people are giving us, I don't think they're likes. I don't see the likes going up. Anyway, whatever. She is absolutely right. They fell behind, so we need to make Mildly Mercurial in charge of discipline.
We'll give you a truncheon, a white one though.
The heart is not a like button. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's just like an animation button, stuff like that. Okay, all right, very
Helen
good.
Harris has just gone, Amy, come and join me in the psychopath corner. Because she's there with her jam before cream.
So Helen is there
Yes.
for jam, Amy's there for lizards.
Yes.
So good, excellent. And we'll have some
Excellent.
other people in for other infractions as well.
Well, fingers
So-
crossed we're not about to get a filthy comment like last time.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. No, I think it's a very good idea. It's very good. You immediately arrived and started disciplining people. It's
I know,
fabulous.
it's
I
very
love it.
good.
We need an enforcer. Every cult needs an enforcer.
Oh, I know what the thing was about you having brainwashed somebody already.
Have I?
No, that when I was saying, I
Oh.
was saying there about, there was
Quite
a
right,
comment I
too.
wanted. Anyway, I forget it. I've forgotten. It's gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh.
All right, everybody.
All right, everyone.
Good to see
Stay
you
safe.
all. Good to talk to you. And we'll see you in... There isn't a like button on the live comments.
Well,
Yeah.
make sure you go and make sure you like this video when it's uploaded and all that.
But I
jazz.
see 37 likes. But she's right. I don't see a like button, which is a bitch.
It's fucking
Anyway.
rude, isn't it?
It is rude. It's absolutely rude. Bye.
Oh dear. See ya. Bye. Right. I'm not saying another word until Becca says you're off live, if she's still there.
Oh.
Or someone message me when you can't see us anymore. In fact, just put it in the chat because the chat will be open still.
Have you finished talking? Because
Yeah.
my
Bye.
team have already put the end stream button where I can see it. There's no doubt. It's actually literally front and center, so I just have to
Okay.
end it.
Bye.
Okay. We're off.
Right. Wait.